focus our mind on the Divine Master and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, how Sri Ramakrishna is practically leading us in the spiritual path. Everything is very clear when you come to Sri Ramakrishna. There is no confusion, there is no ambiguity, there is no hypocrisy, there is no humbug. So, you have come to Sri Ramakrishna, the Supreme Godhead, who keeps coming on to this world every now and then to lead us in the spiritual path. Well, many spiritual topics we have discussed in previous classes. Today I am taking the topic, the spiritual path, which is very important for us to know what exactly the spiritual path means, how we have to conduct ourselves. Everyone is endowed with two minds. One is spiritual mind, the other one non-spiritual mind. As soon as a person is born into this world, the first symptoms will be the play of spiritual mind. You find the spiritual qualities in the children before they grow up. They are guileless, they are simple, they are cheerful, they are attractive. so many qualities, so many virtues children manifest in that age. So, the spiritual mind is there in every one. But what happens when the child grows? It grows in different surroundings, situations. So many factors are there which activates the non-spiritual mind, and the spiritual mind remains dormant. So you find very difficult when you grow up to open up your spiritual mind. It requires lot of struggle. So both the paths are there, given to us. The spiritual path leading to God, the non-spiritual path leading to the world. One leads to freedom, the other one leads to bondage and suffering. Well, we need to know these facts. To remain in ignorance will not help in any way. So, the spiritual path is very important for us to take up, to follow. You have to have a non-spiritual life to a certain extent, to the extent that you are able to live your life, to attend upon your needs, your ordinary needs. But the spiritual path is meant for achieving the spiritual goal, whereby you will be experiencing immense peace and bliss. Well, the spiritual path, it is a subtle inner path. It has many stops and degrees of grading. In some areas, it is level and smooth, and in other regions, it passes through difficult terrains of dirt and gravel. Its course may run through the outstretches of desert or along the narrow curves and bends of precipitous mountains. In spite of all these obstructions, we have to journey determinedly along this great road leading to God. Whatever path, whether spiritual path or non-spiritual path, it has got its own problems and difficulties on the way. They do exist in whatever path you follow. But what is needed is determination. If you are determined, surely you get success. The highways and byways of ordinary life run on in circles. They seem to lead nowhere. You keep running, you keep circling yourself in the world, Births after births you are coming into this world, passing through same kind of experience, passing through pain and pleasure, likes and dislikes, all sorts of sufferings, but you are circling it. That means there is no end. You keep on coming and going, going and coming. So, how it is very important for you to know there is spiritual path which you should take. Then you don't have to run in a circle. You go straight and join the goal. One realizes the limitations of the treadmill of worldly existence and the futility of worldly pursuits. You can just think yourself, what I am doing, what I am getting, what's the ultimate result of acquiring all these things. I have got home, I have got 20 cars, I have got $200 billion. Yes, what of that? So, you have to initiate into some kind of discrimination. And of course, in a way, the world teaches you a lesson, a bitter lesson. You will come to know that it is just a waste of time involving too much in the worldly affairs. So, this kind of thinking ignites the flame of spiritual inquiry. A restless yearning for truth and fulfillment of happiness, an intense desire to understand love's deepest meaning, the fear of death, the apparent elusiveness of God, the contradictory nature of life's experience, all these urge one on to spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening is required. What is spiritual life? It's all very clear in the language of Sri Ramakrishna. Everything is simple and clear. A life centered in God is called spiritual life. A life centered in God is called spiritual life. It is not an unusual life. According to the attitudes developed and the manner in which we live, our life on earth can be spiritual or non-spiritual. The spiritual world exists in the same place where the non-spiritual world exists. We are spiritual when the divine enters our thoughts, our actions, our emotions, our desires and aspirations. Then God is not distant or theoretical, but a living, true God guiding our lives. Not understanding clearly the meaning of spiritual life is a first pitfall on the path. A few basic requirements are necessary for deep and effective spiritual living. Very important in spiritual life is faith. The faith that the goal sought after does exist, that there is a supreme unchanging truth, a reality which is the foundation and operative power of everything. We have to believe that at the back of the flux and contradiction in this world, including our own life, there is a cosmic intelligence, love and unity, which is God. Though difficult to see at an early stage, it is necessary to believe that this reality, which is God, can be experienced here and now. Shankaracharya also has said, Jivan Mukti. You can get the liberation while you are in this mortal body. You can get the experience of freedom. There are many saints and sages who had that experience. If you take Sri Ramakrishna's life, how he got the experience of seeing God when he was alive, when he was just young, he could not only see God, he could communicate with God. Not simply a day or two, not simply for a few months or years, throughout his life, unto last breath, he was directly in touch of God. He is the supreme object of our love, our everlasting friend and companion. Somehow we have to grow and have faith in this idea. Let us take an example. In the city of Jerusalem, Lord Christ walked teaching and consoling the people and changing their lives. It was there that the final scenes of his life on earth were enacted. So the faithful Christians everywhere, they love to visit this holy land. Even though they have not seen it, they never deny its existence. They know that many people have been to Jerusalem. In the same way, as we put our feet on the spiritual path, let us have this confidence that although God is not yet visible, He is only some distance away, He can be experienced as many fortunate men and women through the ages have found Him in their lives. If God has been seen by some people, that means it can be seen by everybody. The nature of God should remain an open question. Infinite, He manifests Himself in numerous ways. The approaches to His nature are various. Sri Ramakrishna says God is both personal and impersonal. You don't have to have any conflict. If you are a believer in impersonal, go ahead, practice meditation and other disciplines in order to realize the impersonal aspect of God. If you are the worshipper of personal God, go ahead. But don't divert your attention to unnecessary discussions whether personal God or impersonal God, which way we should go. It is confusing. If you want to confuse yourself, then only you can confuse. There is no need to confuse. Sri Ramakrishna said clearly, whatever God, in whatever way you approach, you reach Him. That's all. So, personal God with a cosmic personality, if you want to have, you can have. People worship God as Shiva, God as Vishnu, God as Kali, God as Durga, God as Ganesha. So God has many names, He has many forms, limitless names and limitless forms. That's why when Swami Vivekananda addressed the parliament, he said, my salutations to gods and goddesses. My salutations to gods and goddesses of the future. So, God has infinite forms, infinite ways of manifesting Himself. He can come down to man as the divine incarnations like Rama, Krishna, Lord Jesus Christ and Buddha. It is best not to be caught in a dogma about God. Let everyone have his own conception of Him. The Upanishads tell us that Brahman is both Nirgun and Sagun, without attributes and with attributes. A man can realize God on both these levels. Spiritual path is difficult for those who are wanting in faith. The basis of spiritual life is faith. How to acquire faith? Amid all the doubts and confusions surrounding the existence of God, spiritual teachers say, through holy company, seek the company of those spiritual persons who are living in direct experience of God. In the lives of these persons, we witness the proof of God's limitless knowledge and love. Our weak notions become enlivened by holy company. That's why when people would come to Sri Ramakrishna for the first time, before they leave the place, Sri Ramakrishna would invite them again. He would tell them, come again, come again. Constantly you must come. Do it constantly. Then you get the result. Holy company also includes the reading of the scriptures, which are the records of direct spiritual experiences of holy people. When we read the Upanishads, the Gita, the Bible, and the sacred books, what do you get? We catch a glimpse of truths which are not the usual truths of this material world. They are spiritual truths. They speak of the harmony, they speak of joy, peace and strength. So, when we read these accounts in the scriptures, our faith grows. Faith of another type is also necessary. It is faith in ourselves. Swami Vivekananda said, first develop faith in yourself, then faith in God will come. If doubt comes, limiting our capabilities, we have to do away with it. Doubt is weakness. It is an obstruction in spiritual life, a serious pitfall. On the surface, man evidently is very limited. His mind, his body and energy have limitations. But power and knowledge can be developed. Great potentialities are there deep within the recesses of the mind. Man has a hidden insight, an intuition by which he can rise to the spiritual life and eventually reach the ultimate destination of life, realization of God. So, we should always be careful as to whether our faith, both objective and subjective, is being maintained. That's very important. A living and loving interest in the spiritual scheme of life is an essential requirement. A joyful, enthusiastic attitude, while actively following the guidelines prescribed, is necessary to free oneself from worldly distractions and worldly temptations and develop purity of character. Really speaking, the self, the most essential truth of man, is ever pure and is a spark of the divine. Of course, we can make mistakes, but these indirectly help us search for truth, and so we should never brood over them. Let us exercise caution and let us not again commit these errors. This is the healthy attitude. With the attainment of pure character, undesirable distractions lose their hold on us. We develop an attitude of renunciation and more feel in our heart and mind the Lord's presence. Here also you have to understand clearly what exactly renunciation means, because when we talk of renunciation, it bothers the householders. Oh, Swami talks about renunciation. But you have to understand in a proper way. Renunciation is a spiritual attitude. It is not the abandonment of home, not abandoning family, children, not giving up education or job in order to seek the ultimate reality. Rather, renunciation is a joyful disregard for undesirable attachments for the sake of God. The heart will be made pure with the development of this attitude, and blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. The spiritual seeker, the person who takes the spiritual path, should be on the alert for the unripe ego seek its expression. The attitude, I am so and so, devoid of spiritual content and affiliation, that attitude should be transformed into the attitude of the ripe ego as I am God's child. I belong to Him. I am what I am due to His grace. So you must cherish this attitude. That way you can subdue the ego. Every person is normally very much attached to his or her ego and thinks, I have done this, I possess this, I am that, and so on. There is some joy in this feeling of the ego, but when we come to spiritual life, we have to give up this false joy. If there is too much of this ego, it will obstruct our spiritual journey. Since we can't give up, you can't give up it altogether, it has to be given a spiritual color. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, he has said in the gospel, there are two kinds of ego. One is the unripe ego, the other one ripe ego. Our lives will become spiritual, pure and fearless when this unripe or lower ego is subdued and transformed into the ripe or higher ego, which says, not I, but thou. So we must have a clear understanding of the different spiritual practices which will assist in our spiritual development. Regularity in meditation, prayer, repetition of the holy name, contemplation and spiritual studies, all these are very much necessary. Only the earnest seekers will succeed. There is no room for triviality here. Non-attentiveness to a regular routine of spiritual practice is an impediment on the way. The moment you become non-attentive, the moment you are not practicing your regular routine, you are losing the spiritual way. So the quality of our application in these practices determines the nature and course of our progress. No one can succeed without patience and without perseverance. We should avoid the possibility of despair and confusion by seeking guidance from experienced persons. Every now and then it is important to discuss the spiritual ideas, the ways of spiritual life with the spiritual people who are living that life. Every phase of life requires guidance, both practical and spiritual. So in order to proceed along the highway safely, it is best to stop now and then and seek instruction from an experienced guide rather than push on blindly. Too much pride in ourselves and unwillingness to learn from others is a stumbling roadblock. Another pitfall in our spiritual path is our impatience. After hearing or reading about the blessings of spiritual life, we become eager to have those experiences immediately. We begin practicing some meditation for about a week or two. Nothing remarkable happens and we feel frustrated. Then doubt comes and we impatiently say, oh, let us try another method. This is a wrong attitude, a serious obstruction. Sri Ramakrishna said in the gospel, if you want to dig a well, you have to dig in one and that some place, and at the same place, deeper and deeper, you must dig the earth. Upon receiving proper instructions from an experienced teacher, we should carry on our spiritual practice with great care and persistence. Our interest in spiritual life should be genuine and deep, not superficial or shallow. A superficial mind cannot consistently adhere to anything. So, You must know what is spiritual path, what exactly you are doing, how much you are attentive about your practices, how much you are serious and sincere in unfolding your spiritual mind, how much you are sparing yourself more and more towards spiritual activities. All these are important. So, if you are not carefully following these instructions, you lose the spiritual path. And you won't get the result. So you must be always watching your way, whether you are on the spiritual path or you have gone astray. That's the thing. So many things happen around us. We may not like, but they do come and disturb us. Things happen, but you have to be aware of the reality. You have to be aware of your goal. Then everything becomes easy. Page 612. You cannot achieve anything by moving at such a low pace. You need stern renunciation. Can you achieve anything by counting 15 months as a year? You seem to have no strength, no grit. You are as mushy as flattened rice soaked in milk. Be up and doing, gird your loins. I don't like that song, brother, joyfully cling to God, thus striving someday you may attain Him. I don't care for the line, thus striving someday you may attain Him. You need stern renunciation. I say the same thing to Hazrat. You ask me why you don't feel stern renunciation? There's a reason for it. You have desires and tendencies within you. The same is true of Hazra. In our part of the country, I have seen peasants bringing water into their paddy fields. The fields have low ridges on all sides to prevent the water from leaking out. But these are made of mud and often have holes here and there. The peasants work themselves to death to bring the water, which however leaks out through the holes. Desires are the holes. You practice japa and austerities, no doubt, but they all leak out through the holes of your desires. They catch fish with a bamboo trap. The bamboo is naturally straight. But why is it bent in the trap? In order to catch the fish. Desires are the fish. Therefore the mind is bent down towards the world. If there are no desires, the mind naturally looks up toward God. Do you know what it is like? It is like the needles of a balance. On account of the weight of lust and gold, the two needles are not in line. It is lust and gold that makes a man stray from the path of yoga. Haven't you noticed the flame of a candle? The slightest wind makes it waver. The state of yoga is like the candle flame in a windless place. The mind is dispersed. Part of it has gone to Dhaka, part to Delhi, and another part to Kuch Bihar. That mind is to be gathered in. It must be concentrated on one object. If you want 16 annas worth of cloth, then you have to pay the merchant the full 16 annas. Yoga is not possible if there is the slightest obstacle. If there is a tiny break in the telegraph wire, then the news cannot be transmitted. You are no doubt in the world. What if you are? You must surrender the fruit of your action to God. You must not seek any result for yourself, but mark one thing. The desire for bhakti cannot be called a desire. You may desire bhakti and pray for it. Practice the tamas of bhakti and force your demand upon the Divine Mother. This bitterly contested suit between the mother and her son. What sport it is, says Ramprasad, I shall not cease tormenting thee till thou thyself shalt yield the fight, till thou thyself shalt yield the fight and take me in thine arms at last. Trailokya once remarked, as I was born into the family, I have a share in the estate. God is your own mother. Is she a stepmother? Is it an artificial relationship? If you cannot force your demand on her, then on whom can you force it? Say to her, Mother, am I thine 8 months child? A premature child is generally weak and fearful. Thy red eyes cannot frighten me. A deed of gift I hold in my heart, attested by thy husband Shiva. I shall sue thee if I must, and with a single point shall win. God is your own mother. Enforce your demand. If you are part of a thing, you feel its attraction. Because of the element of the Divine Mother in me, I feel attracted to her. A true Saiva has some of the characteristics of Shiva. He has in him some of the elements of Shiva. He who is a true Vaishnava is endowed with some of the elements of Narayan. We shall stop here. Any questions? It is not considered as a desire. It is not considered as a desire. The bhakti, asking for bhakti, is not classified under desire. Desire is generally it is used in the sense, the thing which distracts you from spiritual path. They are called. For example, if you desire to do meditation, if you desire to do bhajan, prayers, etc., they don't come under that classification at all. Desiring God is not considered as the desire in a way, in a sense that it distracts you from God. No. Worldly desires are to be counteracted by spiritual desires. But desires are the stumbling block in the spiritual path. Desire means it is motivated by selfishness. That's why you always say desire less. That means don't desire anything for yourself. There are so many ways of becoming desireless. Directing everything to God, doing everything in the name of God, feeling the presence of God. You should conduct your life. Then slowly you will understand the glory of spiritual path. People suffer because they are not giving proper attention to the spiritual path. They have not developed their spiritual mind, so naturally they are always in some kind of trouble. So one has to cultivate, train the spiritual mind. One has to struggle. Struggling is important. As you struggle in the world, why not you struggle for spiritual illumination? But you should know clearly what is what. what for you are struggling, etc. So the people, holy people come and show you the way in order to clear off the doubts. The quest of God is such, one has to experience oneself. If I say I have seen God, that makes no sense to you unless you see yourself. That's an important point. When Swami Vivekananda asked Sri Ramakrishna, have you seen God? Sri Ramakrishna directly answered in a very simple way, directly. He said, yes, I have seen. But he continued, not only I can see, you can also see. That's very important. Everybody can see. And because he has seen God, he is telling, look, go in this way, you will see God. But you have to go. You can't get experience of God by some magical power. Even if a Mahatma gives you that experience to you by touch, one can do that. Sri Ramakrishna himself had that power. Sometimes the devotees were pressing him for samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna would tell them, why do you press so much? You are not ready. Your mind is not ready. Your system is not like that. Then Sri Ramakrishna had to make them understand, all right, you will have it, have the fun. And Mathurnath Vishwas was attending on Sri Ramakrishna very devotedly. He had that experience of samadhi by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna. No doubt he had the samadhi, but afterwards he began to shout, oh, I have got property, I have got estate, what is this you are doing? Take it back, I don't want samadhi, I don't want. I have got estate. So his mind is worrying about the estate. So in that condition, and there is another devotee, Sanyal. See, when Kalpatruda, on Kalpatruda, Sri Ramakrishna blessed everybody because Sri Ramakrishna thought, well, I am leaving this body. Before leaving this body, let me give some glimpses of spiritual glory to these people who are serving all the time. Let them cherish that memory and practice. So with that idea, Sri Ramakrishna voluntarily he went and touched everyone, whoever is there, come. And everybody got, whether he is fit or unfit, irrespective of that qualification. Simply touched them, he gave the experience. Go, have it. And one person had, it persisted. He was in that ecstasy for a long time, for many days. Then he began to cry. He began to weep. Sri Ramakrishna, please take it back, take it back, take it back. Finally, he came to the normal consciousness. After some time, he began to worry. What a fool I am. Why did I tell Sri Ramakrishna to take it back? What a fool I am. What is in this wretched life? Like that he began to repent afterwards. See? Now what I want to say is, you have to prepare for that high experience. But we always look upon God for something else. We look upon God to take care of what we want, some petty things of the world. We want God, then only we appreciate God. But as long as you are inclined towards the pleasures of the world, as long as you are pulled by likes and dislikes, you cannot be free from suffering and bondage. So, non-spiritual life means you are circling. You are no doubt moving, but you are moving in a circle. No end at all. Continuously moving. That's called samsara. Samsara sagaram ghoram tattum icchati yojanaha Gita navam samarukya param yati sukhena saha. This terrible ocean of samsara, if one has to cross, one has to sit in the boat of Gita, Bhagavad Gita. That means you have to practice what Lord Krishna has said. If you practice spiritual life, then you can overcome. You can cross this samsara. Any question? Any more? Whatever you get is last. Oh. I don't know. Because spiritual achievement cannot be lost. It stays with you. How can it go? Where have you read that? I don't know. Yeah. But the point is, the one energy is just like centripetal and centrifugal forces. One force takes you to the bottom. The other force takes you upwards. Suppose you are caught in a whirlwind in a pool, in a lake. Even though he is the best swimmer, he is lost, totally gone. It's just like that. So if you follow the worldly pursuit, the result will be a person entering into the whirlpool. That's what I mean. And because you don't feel the end of the life at all. Because you take birth, live the life, again take birth, again live the life. It goes on. Unless you discriminate and find out the reason, unless you learn a lesson through suffering, you have to keep going like that. That's the meaning of going in a circle. But if you take the spiritual path, it's not going like a circle, because there's a goal. Once you reach the goal, it's over. Once the river joins the ocean, there's nothing more to be done. Ganga joining the ocean. There's Ganga Sagar in Calcutta. Every year there is a mela, big mela. Several thousand people go there. At least 200,000 people go there. Ganga Sagar, that is the Ganga joins the ocean. Beautiful place. And it is said in the story, Bhagirath, that's why it's called Bhagirathi. Ganga is called Bhagirathi because Bhagirath did tapas. He wanted to bring Ganga from celestial region. Because those days they had tremendous power in the body. They could sustain for a long time, not like Kali Yuga. But anyway, and he got Mother Ganga, and she would follow wherever he goes. And then, from the heavens, the Ganga is falling on the earth. What a terrific force it would be. The whole world would be destroyed by the tremendous force of Ganga. So Lord Shiva just controlled it. The whole Ganga was just captivated in his matted locks. It's toned down actually. Then again Bhagirath had to do again tapas of Shiva. He had to propitiate Shiva. Oh Shiva, I am taking Ganga. And so there is a reason why he wanted to take Ganga, because his ancestors were dead and he wanted to make this holy Ganga pass on them, on the ashes of those dead ancestors, so that they can go to celestial regions, story whatever it is. So then he brought down, and then the Bhagirath would go in the front and Mother Ganga is following. And then he came to this point where Ganga meets the ocean. It's called Ganga Sagar. There the ashes of the ancestors were all lying there. There Ganga made to pass through. That's a beautiful place. Once that Ganga joins the ocean, then where is Ganga? If you ask Ganga, I am ocean. That's the answer it gives. So, you have reached the point there. In circle, there is no point of reaching at all. You keep on coming, going. Samsara sagaram goram. Samsara chakra. This way it's called samsara chakra, the wheel of samsara. So if you take non-spiritual path, you'll have to be moving round and round. That's the way. Any other question? Shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from the darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, and may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.